Hello friends, it's day 5 of staying consistent in the midst of chaos. At least I think it's day 5, but it sure feels like it's day 15 since we started this series. Maybe because of all of the moving, and yet another moving coming tomorrow morning. But it is what it is. We are still showing up, and today was a day of routine execution. No major obstacles, both internal or external, but nothing exceptionally good in terms of what I produced with my effort. Just as I said, routine execution. But there is something that I do want to talk about: zooming in and zooming out. This insight, as all insights that are of genuine worth, I believe, can be applied to almost anything in life. But this time, I want to talk about how it relates to projects and goals, maybe especially creative projects and goals, and then how it helps with staying consistent, or how it's necessary for staying consistent in the way that matters. So, what do I mean when I say zooming in and zooming out? As always, it's best to give an example. So, I'm going to ask or state that the question of this video is: do you right now need to zoom in or zoom out? Let's talk about it. You have a project. You have a project and a goal. And let's see what is the scenario where you're supposed to, you should be zooming in. Here it is. You are thinking all the time about the goal, about the project, and not just about how it's going to look. So that's a rookie mistake. That's a rookie mistake and a rookie internal obstacle. Oh, I'm thinking about the outcome. Not even that. Thinking about the grand vision, thinking about the structure. So, for example, I'm creating existential bootcamp. So that would be not even me thinking how popular existential bootcamp is going to be, how many people are going to take part in it, how satisfied they're going to be. None of that. That is also an issue, of course, but the issue can be even doing something that's seemingly productive, and that's thinking about the structure every day, thinking about the structure of the bootcamp every day, thinking about, a couple of days ago, I talked about me working on the order of lessons. So every single day, still thinking about the order of lessons, thinking about the grand vision. Zooming in would be to say, okay, I need to now focus on the task at hand. Is the task at hand brainstorming the structure? Yeah, okay, that's great. But if the task at hand isn't approaching the whole project as an architect, whatever your project is, if that isn't the task on your schedule, on your calendar, on your to-do list, then forget it. Zoom in. What is the first thing in front of you? No matter how small, no matter how insignificant it may seem compared to the grand vision, is it relevant? Is it something that you placed on your calendar? Because it does matter. Completing it does matter to proceed towards your goals. If the answer is yes, then zooming in is focusing on that thing, and then the next one, and then the next one. And I think we often in life need this capacity of, or the skill, not capacity, we need this skill of zooming in. To stop thinking about the grand questions of our life, to stop thinking about how our life as a whole is going to turn out, and focus on the task at hand. Sometimes the task at hand is to do something to complete a physical task, or it can also be cognitive, but a task that is related to the outside world. Sometimes the next thing to do is to have an uncomfortable conversation. Sometimes the next thing to do is to do your laundry and then go have a meal. So zooming in is putting aside the vision, the goal, the structure of that vision, that goal, that project, putting it aside, focusing only on the task in front of you. Zooming out, also interesting. In what scenario should you zoom out if we are talking about goals and creative projects? Well, let's say that you are in a position that I am, and you are consistent, somewhat consistent. Let's even say it like that. You are somewhat consistent, and you are executing the tasks that were initially set up as the tasks to bring you to the completion of your project or to the achievement of your goal. So you are executing these tasks. Well, periodically, you need to zoom out and ask, are these still the most relevant tasks? Are these still the highest leverage tasks? Are these still the tasks that should be on my list, on my calendar, on my schedule in order for me to accomplish my goal? Because they can change. We should all be aware of that. They can change. So if we just zoom in and act like a workhorse that has those, I don't know what they're called, those pieces of leather on both sides of their face so that they cannot look left and right, just forward. If we are acting and approaching our projects like a workhorse, we will be producing a lot of consistent effort. But what if the project, especially in the way that it has been developing because of these actions, what if it requires some adjustments? What if it requires for one of those actions to be changed in a certain way or to be removed? Actions or tasks. Think of it however you want. So, again, to use my example, if I'm creating an essential bootcamp and I'm pumping out these writing blocks, preparing the curriculum, I have to occasionally say, okay, stop, zoom out. How does this look? Am I still on the right track? Should I include a block of time dedicated once again to brainstorming the order of lessons? Am I doing everything that needs to be done? So zooming out to see both how our efforts have been influencing the direction of the project, but also the project itself. Does it require, just in the way that it has been imagined previously, does it require some change? Does it require, moving into a new phase where there is another task to be accomplished? Another task to be added to the schedule, calendar, however you see your routine. And if you don't see your routine, if you don't have an idea of how your routine looks like, then that's the first task. That's a sign that you need to zoom in. I'm hoping this makes some sense. Zooming in versus zooming out. You need to ask yourself, what do I need to do right now? Do I need to zoom in or do I need to zoom out? Do I need to take it one task at a time? Or have I been putting in the effort and it's time to zoom out to see how this effort has been playing out so far and what needs changing, if anything? Maybe you're zooming out less for a very short time because nothing needs changing. But you owe it to yourself to still zoom out and check. That's it, friends. My current situation is, for the next, let's say at least week, it's about zooming in. And then I can assure you that next Friday, Saturday, I will be zooming out and considering how things have been going, if there is anything that needs changing, and looking at the overall structure of the project. I'm talking about in this example, I'm talking specifically about the existential bootcamp. That's where I will be zooming in next couple of days and then zooming out over the weekend. When it comes to my work as a whole, digital writer, creator, educator, occasionally I zoom out on the entirety of my mission to see if I'm still talking about relevant things. But I think a more useful example for now is doing it with separate projects and goals in life, rather than now maybe being overwhelmed with the idea of zooming out on the whole mission of your life, because maybe that's what overwhelms a lot of people. I'm not saying escape from the idea of looking at the entirety of your life. No, absolutely, we all have to do that. But if you have no momentum in your life, you don't need a grand vision. You need a vague sense of direction that you will choose. If you don't already have it, then you will choose. You will not figure out. You will not discover. It will not be delivered to you, from the heavens. You will choose direction, and then you need to zoom out. Immediately zoom out and start gaining momentum. So yeah, we are opening now another story of how to gain a sense of direction and momentum in life. Well, although it's a big topic, I gave you the spoiler. You're the one who has the responsibility to choose, because it will not be handed to you and you will not magically figure it out, and then you need to zoom in and do the things. That's another conversation, but do the things that will give you a sense of momentum. But still, the most important thing to understand is that you do have to zoom in to gain momentum. You do have to focus on the task at hand. That's one of the absolute most fundamental things about gaining momentum in life, is that you have to zoom in. So I'm also giving you spoilers from the existential bootcamp, and I will end on this in the next video or two, because again, another movie coming up, and it's kind of dynamic. In the next video or two, a video from this series will be about how I write, how I do my more creative writing, how I write for the preparation of existential bootcamp. So for those of you who are interested in my process of writing, I will be sharing it. Not necessarily, I will not be giving a masterclass on writing, but I will be sharing some insights and hopefully some helpful pieces of advice from how I write. So that's it, friends. I'm leaving you with a question. Do you need to zoom in or zoom out at the moment specifically when it comes to your goals and projects in life? Thank you for being with me. As always, stay strong, love life, and never feel sorry for yourself.